It's the year 2024, and they still do not have the technology to make fountain pops not overflow.
Fountain
Very
pops?
angry. Yeah, soda machines at the gas stations. Get the big old fucking styrofoam cup full of
That's
fizzy.
your fucking job, dude.
No, they well, yeah, but they
That's
without
your
fail
job.
fizz over, and you have to stand there like an idiot for like 30 seconds waiting for it to like fizzle down, and
You
then
don't
you
know
can
the-
fill up the rest of it into
You don't know
soda.
the touch it trick?
The touch it trick?
Yeah, when soda fizzes up like that, you touch it and the fizz goes away way faster.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Test it. Next
All
time
right.
you go get a fountain pop or whatever the fuck it was you called it.
What do you call it?
Soda.
What? Yeah, I mean, so you call a bottle of soda and the thing you get out of the machine the same thing?
Yeah, is it not the same thing?
No, it is. But if you ask someone to go to the gas station and get you a soda, and they come back with a bottle of root beer, but you were expecting
I high five them and say thank you.
You get so much more soda when you get a
fountain pop. 100%. But
that's why there's a distinction between the titles. They're different things. Also, fountain pop tastes better than.
Well, that's definitely debatable because they have to mix that, and they don't always do a good job of it. Whereas the bottle is consistent, it's the same every time.
That's fair, but I mean, you're looking at like the bottom of the concentrate when you're.
I'll put it to you this way: I'm the fattest person on the show, and when I go to QT, I get bottles of soda. I do not QT, Wawa, Sheets, whatever it is in your area. When I go to the gas station, I do not get fountain sodas. I get bottles of soda.
We have QT as well. Does your QT have horchata on tap?
Yeah, I live in Phoenix. Everywhere has horchata on tap, bro.
That was the wildest thing moving to Oklahoma, was going to the fountain machine and there being horchata on the tap.
The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite. Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville.
Welcome to the Hang and Loose podcast. My name is Shanked DG. With me, as always,
Mac and Cheese, Spicy Boy.
Mac and Cheese.
Excuse me.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks to Rand Disc Golf, our podcast sponsor and provider of these swanky new Hanging Loose jerseys.
Swanky, not attributed to this podcast.
For us only. Do not try and order them from him. But you know what? You should order from him all of your discs and disc golf accessories.
Yeah, and whoever stole Rudy's shirt, please give it back. Actually, send it back to me so I can send it back to Randy.
Did it get stolen? Is that what the update was? It says delivered and it's not there.
Did it say delivered finally?
I don't know if it says delivered or not, but I know one thing for sure. I don't have a shirt. I'm still not the shirt guy on this podcast.
What a shirty situation to be in.
Dude, I could give 2 shirts.
No, you can't. You could not get 2 shirts because you haven't got 2 shirts.
Well, happy early birthday.
Or a coloring book, or a hat, or any stuff from any of the other guests, or any. That's fine.
You know what you can get? All right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Happy early birthday to me. My birthday is tomorrow. You guys will be. You guys will be listening to this episode after my birthday. Should we talk about birthday trivia that I had last night?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, that'll be my story time. Spicy time. So, one thing that I do when I host is I will always make like a specialty slideshow for whoever's birthday it is. I'll like put little things for them. Usually I do it for bingo, but for my birthday, I do it for both. So, one of the things I did is, excuse me,
sponsored by Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, professional. Actually, I took a Prilosec today because I have mad heartburn. Anyway, I made the first category general Kyle knowledge. So it's like questions about me and my favorite things. So the first question through the 10th question, I started with the letters I. The answers all started with the letters I, and then L for the second question, U for the third question, V, BOOBS exclamation point. And then I told the crowd, hey, there's a hidden message in this first round. So if you find it and you get it, I'll let you spin the shot wheel. And so we were like 6 questions in. We weren't even all the way through it. And this girl comes up, she goes, I think I know the message. And I'm like, what do you think it is? And she goes, I love boobies. And I was like, no. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she goes and sits down. And then 2 questions later, we're on question number 8. And this other girl comes up and she goes, is it I love boobs with an exclamation point? I was like, Jesus, how did you know that? Like, we haven't even got to the last 2 questions yet. And she goes, well, we got most of it, obviously, but we were trying to figure out what the 10th question would be because just I love boobs is only 9 and there's 10 per round. And we know you really love boobs. So we figured that's probably what it would be. I was like, that's, wow, great job.
Fucking world's greatest detective at bingo or trivia.
And so her name's Maddie. She's great, but I think absolutely cannot stand me. She just comes because her friends like to come to my trivia. So she spun the wheel. And if you don't know what Malort is, we've talked about it before. She does not like it. Hates it.
No one does.
I don't mind it. And so she's like, I'm going to spin the wheel, but it better not land on Malort. I was like, that's not how this works. Spins the wheel, lands on Malort. That's how my birthday night started. I was like, fuck yeah. So then a couple rounds in, like I added a question about me or like related to me in some way in every round. And so a couple rounds in, there's this girl named Kirsten who's she's one of my trivia regulars. Her team wins all the time because it's her and like 4 other teachers. So they're super smart. She comes up and she's like, hey, Kyle. And I was like, what? And she's got a jacket on and she just goes like this. And I was like, oh, and her and 3 other people had shirts made that just say I heart Kyle on them.
Aw.
And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you guys. And so she got me a weed related gift, some pre-rolls.
Hell yeah.
And then my friend Noah also got me the same pre-rolls, which I thought was funny because they didn't plan it. And then I got 2 bonus pre-rolls. So I am not high right now, but I will be shortly. And then at the end of the night, Kirsten's like, come here. And so she takes me into the bathroom. And I got a flash for my birthday. So that was kind of it's so funny. People are like, you really like boobs. I was like, well, some people really like feet. I think mine's a lot less weird. So why don't you stop judging me? And then my friend Regan, who I love to death and is very generous, got me a $50 gift card and then 3 packs of double stuffed Oreos because she knows I like double stuffed Oreos, and then milk. And let me tell you, if you're not a milk person, you would be grossed out by me because I basically chugged a half gallon of milk in front of that whole bar. And everybody was like, what the fuck, dude? Everybody was so mad. I was like, it's really not that big a deal. We all took group photos and it was phenomenal. It's a great night. Tomorrow night's going to be even more exciting. Jenna Allen is coming to my birthday bingo tomorrow. So that'll be fun. Nice. Women's distance world record holder, and Ashley Phelps, who's a local pro. She'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, dude.
And I filmed the Phoenix Ladies Open this weekend too, which was also a good time. Nothing super story worthy happened. I met Terry Miller's daughters, Allie and Kenzie, and they were very sweet, very nice, very roasty, just like their dad. They definitely got that part of his personality. I gave them a ride so they landed. We all went to dinner, and then I gave them a ride back to their Airbnb, and they got out of the car, and they're like, all right, bye, Sigma. We'll see you later. I was like, you're 16 years old. You can fucking walk next time you need a ride somewhere, you little punk. But they were super, super nice otherwise. So That's the extent of my story time for this week. What have you got? I ate up 9 minutes.
Hi, this is Rudy from Disc Lab. Are you looking to launch your own podcast? We specialize in turning your podcast ideas into polished productions like you're listening to right now. Concept development to final edits, our team has the expertise to help you every step of the way. Contact us today to get started. Socials@disclab.io. That's socials@disclab.io.
No, I haven't done a whole lot in terms of disc golf. I played last weekend, filmed some stuff for D-Clip. But other than that, I haven't done a whole lot. I've got a tournament coming up this weekend. Plan on playing. There's a new redesign at the lake course, which I haven't played yet, and I likely won't before the tournament, so I'll be playing that blind. But it's a round 4 against that course that I said I'd never play again when I absolutely shit the bed like a few months ago.
Well,
so I'll be playing that one again, as well as the new lake course redesign, which they redesigned it in like 3 days. I was wildly impressed with how fast it was.
Was it a full redesign, or did they just like move the pins?
No, full redesign. Like almost half of the course is being taken by the city to put in a new like public entertainment place. There's Punk is really good about having like they've got like splash pads everywhere. There's a bunch of disc golf courses. There's a skate park. Like they're very good about having like free public stuff to do here. So they took half the course is an exaggeration. It's probably like a quarter of it. But they had to pretty much redesign the whole course to make room for it. And I'm guessing the plan was in place prior to this. Like they didn't plan and install it in 3 days, but tearing it all down and then redoing it in the span of a few days was incredibly impressive. So shouts out to Ponca City Disc Golf Club. Y'all did some crazy work out there. So you're muted. You're muted.
Shut up.
All right. Anyways, do you think there's any pop culture movie that has been viewed in a full 24
Rudy, quit
hours?
being a dick. Try and tell a fucking story.
Oh shit. Well, I do have my next nonsense note I have for today. You think there's any pop culture movie that hasn't been viewed in a full 24 hours by anybody?
Yeah.
Like something like within like the zeitgeist, like like Forrest Gump. Do you think there's been a single day where nobody watched that movie?
I think there have been plenty of days. So when you say pop culture, to me, that could be like literally anything.
There's a lot of movies out there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think anything that falls on cable, like a cable movie, there's no way.
Well, I mean, let's think about it. Most cable channels are nationally broadcast. And if the whole country doesn't have Forrest Gump scheduled on TNT, there's a very good chance no one's going out of their way in their free time to watch Forrest Gump.
There might that one person though in the entire world. 7
7
billion people.
That's almost 8 now. But I think, again, pop culture for me is just any movie because movies are pop culture. So like I would immediately, the first thing I thought of when you asked me that was From Justin to Kelly. Do you know what that is?
No.
So that was a movie that the winner of the first American Idol, Kelly Clarkson, and the runner-up of the first American Idol, Justin Guarini, had to make as a part of their being on the show. And it's like a love music. It's like almost like High School Musical vibe type movie.
Oh, fun.
No,
no,
it's awful. It's literally the worst thing.
High School Musical.
It's universally panned as one of the worst movies to ever exist, and that was made for specifically the pop culture zeitgeist. And I guarantee you, nobody's probably watched that movie in 6-7 years minimum.
I guess when I had this thought, I wasn't thinking of like bad movies. I'm thinking of like cult classics almost. Like I don't know.
Not even cult classics, just classics like Shawshank Redemption
Yeah.
or I hear you.
something like that, Benny and June or something. Like something that was popular for its time or even after its time, it got more popular after it was old. I it was just a thought I had. But
What would you say is your favorite cult classic movie? And by this I mean specifically, what is a movie that upon release in theaters did very poorly but became a smash hit later? And I will answer you to kind of lead you in the direction I'm going. Mine is Boondock Saints. The movie had a trash release, but it is one of the best movies, and it's pretty universally loved now.
No joke, that was going to be my answer.
That's why I took it from you, bitch.
I love that movie so much. Shit.
Do you know the prayer?
It's up here somewhere.
Can you guys hear my squeaky chair?
Oh shit. No, I guess outside of that, probably Ready Player One, maybe.
No, that was a huge theatrical smash hit. Yeah.
Or wait, no, I'm not thinking of Ready Player One. I'm thinking of Gamer with
Gerard Butler.
Yeah, that one. It was
great movie. I love that movie.
It probably a lot of people think it's shitty, but
it is. It's terrible, but
I think it's a lot of fun.
It captures the gamer realm.
It's so weirdly good. Yeah, it's weirdly good.
Dude, when they're trying to buy the cable from that kid and the two girls come up on the screen and their name is the cum dumpsters, I was like, shut the fuck up. I was laughing so hard in the movie theater. I was like, that you cannot have named them that. It was so funny to me. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know that it's like super popular. Like
no, it probably doesn't fall into that same realm that you're talking about. I'm just not good at being on the
for a long
really
time,
quiet.
The ringtone on my phone was the courtroom speech from Boondock Saints when they jump up on the tables with the guns and he's like, "You will receive us." It's so good.
Such a good movie.
Give you chills.
Do you have a TV show like that that's like not widely acclaimed, but like that you enjoy? I'm more of a TV guy than a TV show guy than a movie guy.
I have a lot of TV shows that I love, but most of them are widely acclaimed. Like,
gotcha.
Obviously, my favorite one is Game of Thrones, probably one of the most popular TV series ever.
Fair enough. My answer, and it's definitely falls under that cult classic thing where, like, I think there's a diehard group of fans, but outside of that, I don't know how popular it is. Fringe. The TV show Fringe.
Yeah, I know it. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've got a tattoo, actually. It was my first tattoo.
Wow, you really like that show.
Of the frog that is like, there's like title cards almost between scenes, and they have different like glyphs on there, and I got the Omega frog on my chest.
I see it.
So
I'm gonna take an Omega frog on your chest. I would say a TV show that I like that didn't do well is probably one that a lot of people like, which is Firefly.
Oh, didn't that only run for a couple seasons?
One season.
Yeah.
It ran for a season, and it did so bad on Sci-Fi Channel that Joss Whedon didn't make any more of it. And then they put out the movie Serenity, which was also great. And I actually have the beanie that why can't Jane wears, like I have memorabilia from that, but that now is kind of like the Boondock Saints of TV. It's like everybody loves that show, even though it didn't do well. So
that seems like a perfect opportunity. Well, I guess how old is Firefly at this point?
Goram, 20 years.
Oh Lord. Okay, yeah, never mind. It's outside the realm of Netflix bringing it back.
No, Netflix could totally bring it back, and people would shit their britches over it because everybody loves Nathan Fillion.
And he hasn't aged a day, so
he's not. If you've ever seen The Rookie, He's so good at it. Firefly was released in 2002. So yeah, 22 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Damn.
Let's talk disc golf. I saw
Yeah.
that you started the official player movement thread, and I can't remember who posted it,
With
but
like 4.
they said Isaac Robinson's going to go to Innova and Ezra's going to go to Discraft. And it's weird because I don't know if they'll split or leave Prodigy, but those are two very spot on choices for those two players, I feel like.
Yeah. So if they do leave Prodigy, I could see that being a move. Isaac very much feels like Innova. And I could see Ezra being on Discraft. I mean, then you have the chance for like Ezra and Ezra practice rounds, which could be fun. But I would be really hard pressed to say that Prodigy would drop them under any circumstance. Like spare their contract being up and they just can't beat the offer from like Innova. Like Prodigy, if they're smart, would spend every last penny of theirs to keep Isaac at least.
Well, I don't think any smart company would spend every last penny of it. But I think Isaac would be, and this is no disrespect to Ezra, but he hasn't won 2 worlds in a row. But like, I think Isaac would be my primary objective as Prodigy discs because you don't have. Yeah, I'm gonna send it in just a minute. You don't really have any other huge name players. You know what I mean?
Prodigy, yeah.
Like who else does Prodigy have really? They lost Gannon.
Yeah, outside of those two, I can't really say. I mean, Prodigy as like a mission statement has always been like first step for a lot of these people. So like they're the first sponsor that a lot of these pros get, and then they move on to their bigger stuff. And Prodigy's got their street team. They're very much involved in the AM scene over like pros. So I definitely understand their strategy of having like 1 or 2 like big time sponsors on the pro tour, and especially with them being brothers. Like, and that's just another problem with Prodigy is they just don't capitalize on the stuff that they have. Because you have the Robinson brothers out there and making 0 content. Maybe they're not interested in it, but I think 2-time world champ needs to be on camera more. Outside of Alden's blogs. Like,
I agree. I think it would be. I just sent the link. I think it would be great if Prodigy really invested in having some sort of regular content that they put out. Like, it might be difficult because Gannon is friends with pretty much everyone on Prodigy.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the rules and regulations are there with regard to like we can't feature people who aren't, Prodigy players or whatever, and they have that tumultuous history with Gannon. So I would like to see something like that. And it doesn't I'm such a big fan of non-disc golf content. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean Alden's blog nails that, right?
Right.
Like
he's so funny, he's quick, the editing is great. It's like it doesn't take itself super seriously, so you're not like you're not signing on to the Prodigy YouTube page to be like welcome to Prodigy. Like just make it fun and exciting.
Yeah. I mean they sponsored Foundation's new Imposter series. I don't know if you've watched it at all. Me and RV3 talked about it a little bit, but they sponsored that, and I thought that was a really good placement for Prodigy to like throw some money at, because Foundation is huge. I mean, no doubt about it. And having a show that they hyped up like that and then be presented by Prodigy and stuff like, I think it was a really good way to place themselves in amateur disc golf. Their presence in pro disc golf is not huge, but that actually kind of leads into what I wanted to talk about. But our guest is here, so
hey everybody, this is Randy from ramdiscgolf.com. The other day I was out on the disc golf course, bombing my drivers 300 feet, feeling good about myself. And I decided that since I had a long ride home, I needed to find a podcast that was smart, funny, and entertaining. Everything a good podcast should be. So I picked Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it was wonderful. But after that, my podcast app, the algorithm, sent me to Hangin' Loose podcast, hosted by Shanked, DG, and Spiicii Boy. And it was okay. But after 30 seconds, I figured that my time would be better spent listening to the new Chapel Roan album. So that's what I did. So if you need any discs, discgolf.com. And if your podcast app happens to go to the Hangin' Loose podcast, there's always Chapel Roan.
So he can chime in. What up, Joshua?
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Hey, we are doing good. How are you?
Doing good. I just finished that imposter episode, the final one.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal.
What do you think
How
about
perfect.
no spoilers at least, because I haven't watched it, but what do you think about the series in general?
The series in general was really well put together and really kept everyone like on their toes and edge of your seat. Like you couldn't figure anything out. It was phenomenal.
Heck yeah. I was a fan of it. I think it could have been done better. I was telling Rudy before last week's episode that I think they could have done more talking head stuff, like sort of like Survivor-esque, where they pull them aside mid round and like interview them kind of deal. They did do a little bit like that, but I think they could have really dived into like the Survivor type angle on that show. But
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, it was really well put together, and like you were saying, Prodigy really made an effort to get into the amateur side of disc golf. Like most of the manufacturers don't really push for the amateur side; they just focus on the pro side.
yeah, 100%. And that going back to, sorry, introduce yourself a little bit if for those that don't know you.
I'm Josh. I'm just a forehand dominant player, basically from Buffalo, New York, and just kind of got into disc golf like 2 years ago and been sucked into it.
Heck yeah. Well, we are
That'll
in
happen.
the middle. We are in the middle of talking about player movement and kind of the future of disc golf going into this off season. And piggybacking on what we were saying right before you joined in, I think we're going to start seeing, at least I hope we start seeing pro disc golfers putting out more content on YouTube in more polished ways. Like, you've got Yuli's channel and he posts sporadically. There's a couple out there that post really well. I've been seeing Tristan Tanner. He's been all over YouTube recently doing really good with his stuff, and his stuff looks professional. But
Yeah.
up until this point, it feels like social media has been kind of in the back burner of a lot of professional disc golfers, which I don't think it should be because it's such an individual sport. You need to market yourself, and with the excitement over disc golf kind of dying after COVID, we're 4 years out from COVID or 3. People aren't buying discs as much. People aren't, going to tournaments as much and stuff like that. So you really need to lean into content. And with, I don't think we're going to see a lot of player movement this year, one contract to another. I think we're going to see a lot of players dropped and then not have much to do after that. So the YouTube game is going to be a make or break for a lot of pros, I think.
Yeah. Like more recently, Ezra's been doing the Sunday battles. What is it with Tristan Tanner? Or he's been doing that pretty good. And then towards the end of the season, Ricky Wysocki's been doing those practice rounds where he breaks down each hole very well, tells you each shot why he wants to throw it. Those were really good. And then outside of that, I mean, when Brody was on tour, it was him and Ezra doing the practice rounds, which were really good. But you don't really see anything from the FPO side. It's really quiet. And then outside just a couple handful on the MPO side, there's really nothing.
Yeah. And
the content I want to start seeing from players is not practice rounds. Practice rounds are on every channel. Like, I'm fine with you doing practice rounds, but I need personally something a little more. And that's what we were talking about. Alden Harris's channel where he's going around and he's kind of like sightseeing or doing other fun stuff. Like that is the content I like. I would like something, and it'll be hard to kind of do logistically, I would imagine, for a lot of the golfers, because I don't know what their schedule looks like when they get to a city or whatever. But like, do like a city scavenger hunt. I am a whore for scavenger hunts. I love doing them. I love watching them. It's so exciting to me to see teams like compete, and they can have prizes like you have to wear your ugliest jersey at round 1 if you lose this game. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. I think that would be so exciting and so engaging. We get to know more of the players. Like Isaac Robinson, we were talking about last week, doesn't really have like the brightest or most out there personality, but I'll bet if we got him off the course, we would probably see a little bit more of that.
But with Isaac, though, he always has a different job in all of Gannon Bird's videos. So if you watch each one, Isaac Robinson has a different job every time. It's hilarious.
And see, we don't see any of that translate to the course. Like he's a great golfer, but he's never like amped up or jazzed or sad or upset when he throws bad or whatever. He's just kind of like run of the mill. And I actually talked about that with Terry at dinner. Is like, how do you feel about this? Because I think we had just recorded like a few days prior, and I was like, how do you feel about Isaac's personality? And Terry basically, and respectfully, because we all know Isaac's a great golfer, good dude, but Terry was like, what personality? And I was like, exactly, that's kind of what we were talking about.
Yeah, like I feel like disc golfers on the pro tour need to have more personalities, kind of like pro NFL players. Like they have such finesse out there. Like Chad Ochocinco, when he played, you just knew him just because of everything that he did on the field. And that's what I feel like more of the pro tour needs, is more personalities like that to draw the attention in and to get players like, oh, I want to be like this person. I want to have his stuff so I could be like him.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like, I think, in team sports, it's even less important to have a personality, because you can just kind of blend into the team and then ride on like, I'm a Bears linebacker or something. Like, you don't need to have a personality, but when you're in an individual sport like this, and yes, there's teams, you're both on Discraft or whatever, but you're still competitors. Like, you need to have a personality. I mean, you look at the likes of Brody Smith. He's a good disc golfer. He's not a great disc golfer. He hasn't really, but he's one of the most popular in the sport in terms of personality wise, because he's big, he's loud, he's excited, he's all this stuff, and he doesn't need to perform well to sell discs. I mean, you go out to any tournament or any sort of disc golf event that's packed, you will find a Get Freaky zone. Like, how often do you find a Katrina Allen sale? Like, so
like never.
So what makes money in this sport is personality. Yes, winning is also great, but if you have a personality and you win, take Macbeth for example, you will sell the shit out of some discs.
Look at Ricky. He wins. He's got the raptor legs. Every time he puts out a commemorative disc or a new general or whatever, that shit gets eaten up, even if it's $40 dynamic.
Yeah. I mean, when they first, I remember when the Raptor Eye stuff was coming out, and like all the plastic variations and stuff like that. That was exciting. It was a new type of like molding. It was the look of that disc had never been seen before, and it was Ricky Wysocki. I mean, I went straight to my local store and bought a Raptor Eye Felon. I was like, hell yeah, But I probably wouldn't have done that for someone else on Dynamic. That's what I mean. Like
Kona Montgomery, Kona Panis.
I was gonna say that used to be Kona Panis, but she got married to Colton.
All she has is the escapes. I have one of them, but I mean, it's just not a common disc. Like in my bag right now, I have like 5 Ricky Wysocki Felons.
Okay, hold on. Full stop. Why do you bag 5 Felons?
Yeah, the most I have of a mold is my putter, and there's 2 of them. What the hell?
Flex hand, forehand. Like that's my go-to disc all the time. So I can flex the forehand with the Felon anywhere. So I bag 5
Gotcha.
of them just in case I lose one. I have multiple backups.
In case you lose 4.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
This guy lives on an island. He only plays near water.
I have a
that's so
buddy of
funny.
mine that I play with pretty regularly, and he's got like at any given time up to 7 or 8 trespass in his
What?
bag.
Different plastics, I hope.
Yes, different plastics and different
Okay.
levels of beat in. And,
So I used to have
it's insane.
dynamic. By itself, their like plastics fly so much differently from each other. Like that base plastic trespass is the flippiest thing you'll ever throw. But get it in like a whatever their lucid plastic, it's super solid. Shut up.
You
Someone's
shut
trying
up.
to talk to me.
God damn, I was just gonna ask you something, Josh. I can't remember what it was.
That's it. We'll come back to it. Has anyone watched the Myrtle Beach Open yet?
No.
No. Okay. So I was watching it last night, round 1, front and back 9. So it had Ezra Robinson, Joel Freeman, some local pro from like Myrtle Beach area, and then also a new pro that had just moved up from MA1 to MPO on lead feature card for round 1. So hole 1, Joel Freeman parks it, of course. Ezra Robinson parks it. The other guy gets pretty good up the fairway, hits something. The guy that had just moved up from MA1 to pro threw his drive, kicked off of a tree, and then slid under a porta potty. Hole 1. It was just the most relatable thing I could ever imagine.
What an omen! Oh my god!
And he was actually holding his own. He was making like 100% of the things in C1. But it was just so funny to have the likes of like Ezra Robinson, Joel Freeman, this other guy that's clearly a killer locally there, and then the AM player who decided to bump up to pro. First throw of the day, he has to fetch his disc from under a porta potty. Just so good.
Talk about casual relief.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was he supposed to do there?
RB3 end it. That's too good. It was thankfully OB, so he was able to like grab it and then go back into play. But it was notable enough for me to make a note about it because wow, does that encapsulate the AM experience?
Yeah.
So during the PLO, I was filming the chase card, which has Disc Tay on Instagram. Taylor is in Phoenix or in Arizona right now, so it's nice to meet her. She's really sweet. A girl on her card, and I can't remember her name, forgive me, but she threw her drive and it hits this tree about maybe 20 feet off the ground and then pinballs down the branches and goes straight into a trash can.
Brown ace.
I was like, brown ace. And so I actually got on coverage, filmed the trash can, the disc in the trash can, and then I pulled back to capture her shot for coverage. So I hope Terry uses that because I thought it was really funny.
He better use that. That's so good.
And there was a girl on the card behind us who was like, nice coverage. When she saw me filming directly into the garbage can, I was like, hell yeah.
Did you get to run into KK? KK approved? I saw she was out there in Phoenix.
I did not. At least I don't recall running into her. She didn't say anything to me if I did.
Ah, dang. Yeah, and I remember commenting on her post because she was at a course in Phoenix. I just thought it was the one that you definitely for sure aced in front of Terry. So.
I haven't aced in front of Terry. That post that you tagged me in was the one where she was in Phoenix?
Yeah.
It didn't look like Phoenix. Hold on, let me find it.
She was there for the Phoenix Ladies Open.
I was gonna say, speaking of trash cans, let's talk about the man you all outed.
Yes, finally we're getting to it. Ken _ Climo, the chump. How did you find that?
Yeah, I know. I need the story so bad.
Just the one night I was kind of just scrolling through because I'm like, dude, who is this guy? Like, he just keeps like tagging me in a bunch of like a million posts. I'm like, who is this guy? And then like I remember the one tour life when Ken was on there, and he goes, dude, it's not me. I don't use it. I'm like, all right, so it's obviously not Ken. So I'm just scrolling through. I'm like, wait, I seen that picture. I zoomed in. I'm like, holy frick, that's not Ken. And then I just kind of just screenshot it, threw it up on Facebook. And I was like, have at it, everybody. Have fun.
Heck yeah, dude. What a great spot. I mean, if it wasn't you, I don't know if it would have, because I've done that several times where I just like go through and I'm like, did he post anything that like gives an idea of where he's from? Like anything like that? What a great spot. And immediately threw disc golf, social media in general into a frenzy. Because it's credit to the guy. I mean, I don't want to give him credit because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
But he created enough of a stir that your post went from Facebook to Twitter to Reddit to Instagram, and everybody's talking about it and being like, look at this jackass, essentially. And so kudos to you. I mean, Crunchy took your post, blew it up, and like on Twitter and all that stuff. I actually thought it was Crunchy that found it in the first place, and turns out it was you. So just all the props in the world for exposing the dude that
done
looks
us all a favor. I think the last thing I DM'd you that wasn't the link to this podcast on Twitter just said thank you for your service. Now, to be fair, when you initially wrote that message to me to be like, hey, it was me, I thought you were saying, hey, I'm the Ken Climo account. And I was like, why the fuck would you I was so mad at you, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even want to talk to this guy.
But yeah, I think you're finally dispelling it. I still occasionally get DMs where they're like, you're Ken Climo, right? I'm like, no, goddamn, no, please. Yeah. Like, there was at one point where I was going to admit to it to like get under his skin, be like, I admit it, guys, I'm Ken Climo. And then he'd be like, no, you're not, you know, shit like that. And I decided against it because once you say something like that, someone's going to believe it. And you can never take it back, right?
Yeah.
Because they'll see the initial post, they'll never see the
trying to be Iron Man. I'm Iron Man.
Yeah. So after everyone's blown up his Twitter with that picture, he kept saying, "Oh, it's not me. It's fake. It's fake. It was all screenshot." And then he tried editing without it, and it's just like, dude, just give it up, man.
Yeah, and you can see the smudge tool he used along the rim. It's like, no, dude. You're cooked. That's it. It's like you had a good run.
Set match.
Yeah, you had a good run, no doubt about it. I mean, you were the Chud King of disc golf. But
I have one question. Do you think there's anybody left that still thinks that it's Ken Climo?
Yes. I dealt with a guy on Facebook that came after me saying, it's Ken Climo. Why would you do that to him? And then he was like going off on me like, dude, clearly it's not Ken Climo.
Yeah.
Like, just stop.
Yeah. And there's going to be, the willful ignorant people who accept at Ken _ Climo's. I refuse to call him that name because he's not him. He's a handle. But there's going to be people that accept his excuse that it was a DM'd picture.
Yeah.
That a picture someone DM'd him as a meme and he posted it for them. Like, oh, great excuse, bud. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, that's like you're a third grader trying to fudge a book report that was due that morning.
Yeah, like, no, this isn't ChatGPT. Like, yeah, 100%.
I think we're glossing over a very important part of this image, and that is it unfortunately looks just like me. I remember when I saw it the first time, I was like, what? What? It just looks like it's an angry bald man with facial hair. And I hate that for me. I hate that people are going to look at me and be like, hey, it's you, right? We thought it was Shanked, but it's you, right? I'm like, no, I'm not a racist, homophobic piece of shit. Sorry.
Now that you said that, oh my God, that's great.
Wait, hold on. Ready?
I'm gonna take screen grab that and then also put the
yes.
picture next, and that'll be the thumbnail.
Perfect.
They finally figured out who Ken Climo was. Big red arrow on the thumbnail.
Yeah, right. God damn it.
Oh, what happened?
It's just
I see what
now.
happened.
Give us the face again.
Oh man.
Awful.
Heck yeah, dude. Owen wanted me to say Paul throwing with Owen on YouTube wanted me to say he looks like the dad from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and it's very true.
I posted that.
Did you post that?
I posted the dad
Dude.
from where he lifts his eyebrows up.
Yeah.
Or eyebrow, I guess. That's what I thought. As soon as I saw it, and I was like, oh, it's not me, obviously, but it definitely looks like
exactly what you think. Exactly what you think he would look like too, which was just the cherry on top. Like if it was just some dude, it would have been disappointing. But man, oh man, does that mustache and just the facial expression.
Yeah.
Like that guy probably doesn't live in the South, but he definitely has a Confederate flag on his truck. You know what I mean? That's
he's from like Minnesota.
The look. Yeah,
he's like the Confederate lives.
And he's definitely got to be a 700 rated player. Just saying.
Oh, dude, yeah. If he even
he's got a 700 rated face, I'll tell you that.
1,000 rated mustache though.
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
that mustache game's pretty good.
Oh well, thank you. You did a public service for Disc Golf Internet, and you threw everything into a frenzy. So amazing find.
Disc Golf Batman over here, just protecting the people.
Disc Golf Batman, I love that.
Just need the Batman theme now.
Where's Ken?
Right? Swear to me.
Well, we have a hard out at 7:00. So, is there anything anybody wanted to say? Anything you want to shout out, Josh?
We got 10 minutes to kill, and then Spicy Boy's got to get to Red Lobster.
Ooh, Red Lobster.
I saw a headline the other day that was like the new CEO of Red Lobster says no more unlimited shrimp because, quote, I know how math works.
Yeah, and it's kind of pissed me off because I didn't see that headline, and my dad's like, where do you want to go to dinner? And I was like, oh, well, we got to hit Red Lobster one more time before they get rid of endless shrimp. And then literally today, my dad texted me that article, and he goes, this was 6 days ago. I was like, can we still go to Red Lobster? And he's like, well,
where else are you going to get cheddar biscuits?
See, I like Cheddar Bay biscuits. They're not my favorite thing.
Cheddar biscuits or Olive Garden breadsticks?
Ooh, Olive Garden breadsticks, but I can't say it too loud because my wife is Sicilian and she hates Olive Garden.
Ooh.
The Sicilian people hate Italian people. It's so funny.
Yeah.
The guy that ran my computer lab in high school, his name was Glenn Darby.
Italian people also hate Olive Garden.
Yeah,
right. Of course they do, because they're family all the time, not just when they're there.
It's poor people fancy food.
But this guy Glenn Darby that ran our computer lab, he was Sicilian, and he fucking he would wear an Italian World Baseball Classic jersey with Mike Piazza's name on it, and then be like, "I hate Italians. I'm Sicilian. I'm not Italian. I'm Sicilian." I'm like, oh, excuse me. You put an extra gram of sugar in your fucking spaghetti sauce? Shut up. Don't tell your wife I said that.
Spaghetti sauce has to be homemade, can't be canned. Canned, you'll be a dead man walking if you got.
That's why I buy it in jars.
Loophole. No, this household is king of white people spaghetti. Brown up some hamburger, can of ragu, noodles, good to go.
Perfect. That's the way I grew up.
Oh,
that is definitely white people's
the Parmesan in like the plastic shaker.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
My mom, for my birthday every year, I usually get one of two dishes. I either get her round steak or her spaghetti.
Heck yeah.
So when me and my wife were dating, I brought her over to my parents' house for dinner, and we were having spaghetti. And I didn't know like Sicilians made everything from scratch or nothing. So my dad just cooked up the noodles and then threw canned sauce on top of the noodles and gave it to her. And she just looked at me like, What is this?
Welcome to America.
Yeah.
Those are some of the funniest videos. If you ever are bored, go on YouTube and type in Italians reacting to breaking spaghetti. And there are whole videos where people will just break spaghetti before they put it in the pot. And they are like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And you're like, oh, God, I didn't know Italians were like that. But they are if you break spaghetti, for sure.
Yeah.
Why? Why are you breaking it? I don't understand.
There's one guy in particular.
Dude,
He's
impression was incredible.
He's so like he's the Italian because he gets really mad, but he's also very loving because Italian people are very romantic. So he'll watch his wife break spaghetti and he'll just go up to her and be like, "Oh,
why?
You know, no, do that." And you're like, "God damn it, dude!" Like it's so funny every time.
I don't understand why you need to break it in half. You're just picking it up with a fork. It's not that big of a deal. I don't get it.
To fit it in the pot. That's why.
Yeah, it cooks better broken in half.
Cooks uneven if you let it like cook half of it and then it slides into the pot. Then you have one part that's cooked more than the other. You just break it in half a little bit.
You're insane.
Or you could Kurt Angle it. You pick it up. You roll it up with the fork. You pick it up and you just cut it with scissors and take the bite. And then watch your wife behind you go. Can't do that.
Sandal.
That's like people who eat Kit Kats. They don't break them. They just bite into the Kit Kats. That's the equivalent for me.
That's what I do with the Kit Kat.
I was going to say, can I make a confession?
I literally just open up the wrapper and just bite like a normal candy bar.
I'm a big fan of, I think they've changed the name to Nutty Buddies. They used to be called Nutty Bars.
Oh, yeah.
I take them apart
You
layer
peel them?
by layer. I do not just eat them.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, though, to be fair.
But then your fingers are covered in melted chocolate, though.
You can wash them.
What would you rather your fingers be covered in?
Many, many worse things.
Yeah, no, I'll take peanut butter and chocolate fucking any day.
Oh, man, that's so good. I do that with like chocolate, like Heath bars. I'll like let the chocolate dissolve and then eat the toffee in the middle. Like odd things.
No, that's
let me run this by you. You open the package, you take a bite out of the candy bar.
Okay. What candy
That's
bar?
it. Step 1, open package. Step 2, insert mouth.
Yes.
That's it.
Wait, insert mouth?
Yeah.
Insert into mouth.
You skip it. It's a candy bar.
Okay.
You gotta get that thing in there.
We have a couple minutes, so I want to close with candy bar hot takes.
Okay.
What is your most underrated, you think, candy bar?
Heath. People
Josh?
hate Heath bars. I don't know why.
The only type of candy bar that I kind of eat are the Butterfingers. Everything else is kind of
Ooh. Butterfingers are tough. They get sticky.
So for me, it's a tie between the Almond Joy, which I very much am a huge advocate of, in the fridge. Put the Almond Joy in the fridge.
Yes.
It'll change your life. You're welcome. My second sleeper candy bar, and I've actually ran into a few people who share the same opinion, the 100
Can I guess? Oh, I was going to guess that. Shit.
100
Yes.
grand bar is
Bars are
such
so
a
good.
top tier candy bar. And
100 grand
shits
is
on it
up
all
there,
the
but
time.
I'm a
Yeah.
Baby Ruth guy. Love
Yeah, my wife's a baby
Yeah,
Ruth
but you also like the second
enjoyer.
place Yankees, so I guess that makes sense.
Another sleeper is those
nobody likes the Yankees.
Charleston Chew. That's another sleeper.
We love candy in this house. I've been eating it this whole show. Mike and Ike's are another sleeper candy.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good. Quick, one more. Chocolate or gummy?
Gummy.
Well, I could really go either way.
I'm a gummy guy. I think.
Swedish.
I'll be chocolate just to be the 10th man.
Another Swedish fish enjoyer in here. Big time dub.
I would eat Sour Patch Kids over Swedish Fish any day.
Those are also
Sour
good.
Patch is where it's at.
Yeah. All right. Any closing arguments, Josh?
Other than the only thing I can think of is when you guys were talking about the MA3 jump up.
Oh yeah, we heard you
debate.
disagree with this.
Yes, I full-heartedly disagree with this because I have a MA3 win, and it was like when the field was weak. So like that's how I got the win. And like obviously I'm not ready for MA2 because I'm too inconsistent. So most MA3 players, even though they get their first win, are too inconsistent and not ready for the MA2 jump just yet. I think everyone should just wait for that rating and then get bumped up and then and then have the force bump up by your rating.
We brought this up too late. I disagree, but we'll have to do this again. Josh.
If you remember, I kind of defended your side of things. That's why I said like a tiered system.
Yeah.
If you get 3 wins, that's different. If you manage to kind of eke out 1 win with a weak field, you shouldn't be forced to move. That's how
100%. I do think rating out of MA3 is too much because MA3 is not designed for forever unless you're like stuck in MA3.
Yeah.
As like an athletic limitation.
Yeah.
But if you're a young player and you're hovering the 870 and you're still in MA3, just bump up. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
One last question for you. Why do you have me blocked?
I just noticed that, and I was like, "What the frick is this?"
Why'd you block
you?
What the frick? This is a fuck podcast.
Yeah. All right. Get this man out of here, Rudy. We're out.
I can't even remember.
All right. Send us out with a scream, Josh.
What's up?
Send us out with a scream. I thought you said you liked the show.
A scream. My kid's sleeping, so I have to be quiet.
That's fine. We'll take a silent scream.
Ah!
Perfect.
All right, boys.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Hanging Loose, a disc golf podcast. We'll be back again next week. Until then, hang loose.